You think? I think that's on purpose. I did the same thing, back and forth, back and forth. Find that thing that I showed you. Go back and
Successful? Maybe.
I usually like to write notes on it though, so we'll see.
That's what she said.
TV on, that's a good sign. So Sam right now, who's on the call, can see
3
the
minutes.
screen at home. She can see us moving and talking, waving our arms and all that stuff right now. So,
Oh, I think that's the one I sent.
I haven't seen Sam in an awful long time. Is she like forever gonna be like at home instead of at meetings?
I think while we're trying to transition the system, I think into a consistent hybrid platform, I think it's easier for her to log in from home and
Probably is.
take minutes that way. So yeah,
Probably is.
that will probably become we think that'll probably be the normal. It's much more convenient that way for some of our staff. So,
It's dark blue. No, he is. Yeah. It's a different-
play with the sound settings here.
Yeah, this is at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I wonder- Is it? No, it's fine. When I was a kid, you know, so big apartments, they shot people in the streets. Then you hear it's like constant people getting shot. Yeah, and then having dinner. Sidewalk.
Exactly.
Cigarette machine that my mother used to do.
Mr. Brown.
Hey, Bo.
Hey, Bo.
It's Mr. Brown. Hi, Mr. Brown.
Rick Mancini.
Lawyer on the. Project, okay, yeah.
Block language.
For anyone that wanted to see a copy of tonight's agenda, I'm just gonna leave it right here,
You know,
okay?
it's about to come the same as the Rick.
Well, just grab a copy of the agenda if you need it. So.
Yeah, we can talk. You mentioned me in town 3 weeks ago. I might wanna do that.
Any more discussion?
And it's in the open seat.
All right.
Yeah, I don't answer that. And the emails, I was kind of, I counted through.
Sean, I think we were told it was not going to be here tonight, but I think we are expecting everybody else. So.
Yeah, so it seems that Lindsay will have to.
Jeff said, yeah.
see.
Yeah.
She's in.
Moving.
You're in.
Yep, you're in tonight.
All right.
I don't know if you have to move if you don't want to.
Oh, that's right. Mine's- I think I'm right. I why Karen was like Thursday. Vote.
This is better.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good. So did you do that with her too? Oh, nice. I didn't realize that was cool. Oh, yeah.
Definitely supposed to.
Yeah, fancy now.
Yeah, I spoke to him last week. He knew he had to be here, so we're just waiting on one.
Microphone up
It's
there.
not hard. You should run a kitchen.
One on Jeff and, which we don't have any, we don't have the second alternate right now, right? So
Right.
Not
it's not you.
I talked about the.
Somebody needs to do some.
Let me see.
I don't do the other one thing.
I can see better if I can.
She's not, she's not. She's doing a good job. She looks like she's 75. But she has that. Yeah.
So she's done like that very long.
Yeah.
She.
I'm not sure what he does for, I'm not sure what he does for a living, but I sense like it was something like within like computer science or something.
He's,
He has that
He owns a
analytical.
software company.
There you go. Yeah.
Your guys.
Yep. Very analytical, like even in the way that, even the way he looks at. Like when we get into details of technique, reason why we do certain things, like, he really. Very, which is good.
He's one of our elders. I'm very grateful for him.
Yeah.
They can take whatever it is, however complex. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. He brings that, as an instructor, he brings that sort of that level of detail to the kids. I think the older ones, I think, tend to respond to that.
I'll say
Like when you have kids, it's like, my son's age, 7, 8, 9 years old. They just want to go out and work, they're not, they worry about the details stuff. But like, but to the 13, 14-year-olds, they really kind of,
Any other buildings besides-
Start raising.
yeah, like they really, at that point in their career, they really kind of look at how they're responding, like why they did well at one tournament, why they didn't do well in another.
You know, actually.
Years ago,
Actually, that's.
young lads just before.
All the.
It's probably
Oh, really?
Jack's, he's pretty stout.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's doing great, yeah. He responds really well to coaching. He hasn't been going for too long, but like he's just has very good.
I've seen him make a difference.
To get on 90.
Just his overall demeanor.
Yeah.
There's a cultivation of some
It's like
discipline.
boring.
He blends really well.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Especially if someone's fun.
Sorry, you know, you got
He can shoot,
Everybody
Jeff
finding
a
yourself.
text and just make
Sitting
sure.
in my
Yeah, I was just looking for his number.
Okay, let me just see.
That was my phone in the car. I've got everybody's number. I put them all in there.
I looked, I tried to find the email because I think he has a signature. It's fine.
So I got these. So I spoke to someone today. No, not here. I spoke to someone.
That's why
Change me.
That's some big mistake. The whole component of the community was connected with versus the past owners had.
I don't believe that.
We moved up there, our daughter was 19, 18, 19. She was back.
And Jackson.
They can't be consultant, they can't be someone else.
She was a kid in the church, she had to go to stuff there involved.
That's what I'm saying.
So it means they have
Keep up with music, some sports. Buddy, we
for the last person. Did you?
To get a quorum.
house up there on 385 acres.
Oh, were you guys waiting for a quorum?
One cabin, woods, lake.
Yeah,
Just one, Steve.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Stop and just say focus. and read a lot.
Yeah, we're kind of interested. What is it about? Should be.
I think that's what. So typically.
Just let them ask so. We can get it back up. So his cell.
I think I have his business number, which I think he runs from his house. Is it 539-2666?
Let me just double check.
That's what I had from like.
Yeah, that's right.
From like the email.
Give him anything he needs.
This is the starting.
539-2231. So I'll just-
I'll try this one. 539.
I have all these sightings.
Athletic pursuits.
Last week.
My
Ankle
days,
sprain, that's okay.
my days of pursuit, stuff like that.
So I've got all the, it's on all kinds of scraps of paper because when it happens. And then
You just like walking, even if it's like from one thing to the other, like, you know, people come for steps, like you get to, so you get up to about 7,000 steps a day. It's- It makes a big difference.
And my goal was 12 miles a week and I'm averaging like 15 or 16.
Yeah, 'cause she's.
Yeah, that's good. It's really good. Yeah. The buckets, yeah, it's not unique. As long as you're walking, as long as you're sitting around all the time.
To this back, you can just sit down.
And if not, it's somewhere.
It makes a difference. Really good, so.
You walk to the bedroom, you see the bathroom a couple times a day.
It almost reached out to town council at the same time. Because I thought, well, isn't that what a town council is for? Just to listen.
They are, but they have already taken the first process.
So next, it looks like Jeff is on his way.
Oh, is he?
He's about 10 minutes out.
Guys, the last member is like 10 minutes out, so.
Cool, thank you.
Appreciate the patience, so.
You appreciate you guys showing up in person now. It's not as easy as it was from your living room.
Now we're just trying to like, you know, get used to the platform, right? We're, you know,
10
Yeah.
minutes. Oh,
people from home and from.
2 years old.
we're seeing what's happening to,
Yeah.
Excessive amount
like
of
the record.
decorations or,
So
oh, churros. was
she was.
Oh, that's funny.
So if anybody has
Said,
any.
you know what? I wouldn't.
Much for decorations.
All those people charging to.
I just roll, I'm told what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the grandkids.
Oh, yeah, I'm in that phase right now.
Prince's grandson's truck, something.
Trying to figure out what's gonna happen.
Picking Halloween costumes. Settled on tons
Oh,
of my
that's not so
daughter.
bad.
Firefighter goes with some
One
like,
people was here. How many 23?
My goal is to be a lion. So,
I've been alive.
like one of them is lion, yeah.
He was a tiger last year. I'm not kidding at all, yeah.
So
Not
you're not gonna do
for
any
nothing.
retail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's going cruise.
8. Just an 8.
Yes.
I know.
So good.
We had one, he passed 2 years ago.
Hello?
It's interesting. Is that right?
Hey, Jeff.
I drove by the other day. I haven't been up Route 2 in a while and I was like, whoa.
I
was like,
I like to write it down.
Nobody's gonna be really mad at you.
That's like,
Yeah,
that's
I'll see
the
you.
Amazon. Video, you know.
I had 2 and they were awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some.
That's.
You know, I have a kid that works for me. He's supposed to, I don't know what so we're talking architect stuff, right? And I said to him, "Listen, I have my computer set up so Bing comes up. I said, I love Bing. The supervisors and the gotta give you that. I said, what amazes me most of buildings in other countries compared to yours. We built shits.
Have you seen
No.
Try best.
The bridge, the bridge.
Yeah.
Glass wall.
There's that one's in.
Is it one with the glass? There's one with the glass.
I just know this hiding the mask. Well, she turned 3.
Yeah, the kids are just serving this. Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's me.
So
In my
now she knows
business,
it once, but so yeah.
in my business,
She's hiding, getting product in like the play kitchen. In her
refrigerators, getting certain parts, all these are like, that's my job. When I said to her about it,
I asked me, if she's same age, and she's still like somewhere in Charlestown.
Okay. And she's at the valley. And
You should be.
Get there.
and they got people,
That's it.
I'm watching it. She's like, Thursday, she's like, it's in the house. Come over here and she showed her.
I was a transition.
She's my youngest.
I thought I used to work.
I'm gonna
Pay
do a lot
the
more
bills,
things
yeah.
than what I do too. She's doing
job
better.
is so.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was the school.
Try to
She's doing better. I think it happened. You'll hear about it.
My boss, I'm like,
So she went from like zero.
Yeah.
So it's not.
yeah.
She really didn't want to-
I know, I don't really wanna go.
For how long?
Cafeteria, so it's.
Oh, yeah.
Before they get there.
Yeah, I know. We dropped her off at 12:50.
My tree, I'm like,
Tickets.
Yeah.
$20,000. And then she just sold,
but her
I learned
father
about
felt her brother.
My oldest dad.
We get, they get connected with some
She
people.
just
I gotta redo the footing on my deck.
So the transition.
My second story deck out to my deck.
My
and I don't,
youngest.
I don't, I just want my house to, I don't, I'm gonna put down. Laminate, which is our.
I'll be what it is.
Roast from the midnight.
oh, it's something.
My dad already.
We had a
bought it.
first
I talked to him. He was like.
Yep.
You'll love it.
Okay, third one,
Where?
not bad, but still different.
Yeah.
Fourth one, yeah,
This
a
is
little
that,
different.
like,
yeah.
Did
Actually, the
you
last
sell
two.
for it, right?
Which was.
They give 6 and 4.
Oh, wow.
Last two, the oldest, you guys were being trouble.
I went to his last game.
At the bottom of this.
Yeah.
I think they paid attention.
His first game back.
That's one of the first things I shovel.
Yeah,
I
yes.
open that up and I try and get to keep my back where it's.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
he's not- he's gonna throw the ball 70 times.
That's all my family has.
Doesn't matter.
My daughter-
Always like
Yeah,
to
we gotta just switch the porch. Especially.
He's a very. Just, I'll find him, he's just very quiet. He's masculine.
Well, then we have to see the slide over the shot. Usually the dog is free range.
I think if I had like
Take the
second
cord
person.
and the bottom of the string right where, so she just flap.
Yeah, she is. They're just so awesome. She's great.
Oh, she is, yeah.
He's 14
I guess 20.
now. I don't believe now. She's so
Sam's
My cat used to be a bird. My cat goes out all day, but I keep him
No.
because he's old. and
Just coyotes.
Yeah, they'll come over, they snap little animals like crazy.
It's really, we preset the camera, so like when.
Train chicken.
Preset one.
I have a
right,
friend
it's
that
two,
has
like,
an Indian
body,
chicken.
That's like sitting there.
Yeah. So
Two is the
yeah.
Three is the audience.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you gotta keep it, no, I refrigerate it, so.
Oh, so
Get
that.
get one of those signs.
Cause my boss went out and put a rooster, now he's. What's a week?
My sister.
Like, shouldn't have.
Did you see that bag?
Yeah, I mean, A lot of them did. A lot of them did. A lot of them just said, you know what, like, we don't, we don't,
So she
we
has.
don't feel like we want.
Now,
to do like.
it's 3 years old. Uh-oh.
I think like the bigger cities, I think there's almost kind of almost like an expectation that we try to make, you know, we try
Yeah,
to make
she
these
can.
things as fun. Just like some of them were already using like,
Say, I'm leaving.
So there might be less of an emphasis. I think there was a bit of an the council definitely saw the participation between themselves and if anybody was on the scope of the last year. For those three, like, let's invest in the system. And, you know, and make it possible for us to from home.
The deal was that.
You know, remain informed. Basically, I think that if they're not going to
Check the water. Which has been your job.
So it's worked. I think this is now the third. The first two meetings were always a little troubleshooting. Just gotta kind of figure out what worked well, what didn't work well. What sort of feedback did you get from some people that were tuned in? That's, and then you make adjustments.
Yeah, that her,
40 minutes is long enough, so we're gonna try.
oh, my big dog, I pulled my rifle last week. I was the encounter. I put my rifle by the door, I'm like, you know what? Come on my. I should have let her touch me.
I mean, there's definitely value, I think, in using that software. I think it's like in.
Yeah.
It's right in different types of industry. And it makes a lot of sense.
So one of their elders is, his wife.
I have no belief.
It's not mobilized, it's just, it's not secure.
Yeah.
Certified to compromise, so. But he has to- there's a difference.
She's like 40, 38.
In the early days, I know with Zoom.
I was very
March.
all I said to, she said, yes.
Security issues were.
Stuff running again. All I said was-
So much so that they really have a whole different set of controls. It's just to, you know, just to kind of
There's a big
understand.
smile.
There he is.
I turned them all against you, so. Hold the seat.
But yeah, I saw that.
Sean, you let me know.
Hi, I'm done.
Good evening.
When he was in town.
Okay, Mr. Chair, we are reporting live and the live stream is on, so. yours.
Great, thank you, Sean. All right, that being said, we will call the September 27, 2021 Richmond Zoning Board of Review meeting to order. The first matter we have on our agenda is the approval of minutes from July 26, 2021. Any issues with these meeting minutes? If no, there's a motion to approve. We can go ahead and take that.
Move to approve.
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All right, all ayes. So that is approved. That brings us to continued business, which is C on the agenda, the application of Andrew Moran and Kara Crossley, 54 Lewiston Avenue, Assessor's Plat 9E, Lot 16 for a special use permit to establish a dog boarding business pursuant to section 1816-030E and section 1852-060 of the Richmond zoning ordinance. Is the applicant here?
No.
Okay, no applicant. We did get an email from their counsel asking us to withdraw this application, which I thought is how it would stand. This is a contested matter. Somebody had informed. Mr. Shadat, you want to?
Yeah, no, we were concerned, there wasn't, so I'll leave it at this, there was an incident between the applicant and a neighbor. We were concerned that wasn't gonna be followed through on, certainly no no part of Mr. Callahan's. So we have no objection to the application being withdrawn.
Okay, and that's, long story short, by email, August 20th, 2021, counsel for the applicant withdrew this application. There was some indication that that might not be the case earlier this evening. With no applicant here, we obviously won't be taking action on that. We don't need a vote or anything, do we, Karen?
Yeah, because it's still technically pending.
Okay.
You should probably vote to allow the applicant to withdraw the application with prejudice.
Yes.
With prejudice or without prejudice?
I would say with, because under the circumstances, I don't think it's gonna be refiled. It's not a situation where there's some information pending or something like that, or like the last one you had where there was a change of ownership. But I mean, if you want to do it without prejudice, you can do that too.
Defer to you, Karen. So on the advice of counsel by email, August 20th, 2021, at the request of the applicant, the requesting that this matter be withdrawn, I'll move to approve that motion to withdraw. There is a second on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Jeff? Just upstairs. Aye. All right. Okay. That brings us to subsection D, new business, the application of Michael Bronson. 7 Punch Bowl Trail, Assessors Plat 5F, Lot 1, for a special use permit to establish an accessory dwelling unit on the premise of 7 Punch Bowl Trail, Assessors Plat 5F, Lot 1-2, pursuant to section 1836.040, section 1852.060, the Richmond zoning ordinance. Evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Josh Rosen. I'm a Rhode Island registered professional engineer with Principe Engineering, Inc., office at 27 Secana Ridge Drive in Tiverton. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant. I don't know if the board requires a resume or professional experience. No.
We know who
Perfect.
you are.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm here with the applicant and owner of the property as well,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bronson, and his building contractor, Mr. John D'Agostino. So we are here tonight for the special use permit for the accessory dwelling unit. Mr. Bronson has gone through a few steps on this property to build his family home. He went through the subdivision process late 2020. It was part of a subdivision of land to divide the existing property into an approximately 20-acre piece that he now owns, him and his wife. And they've pulled the requisite permits to construct a 4-bedroom dwelling on the property. I thought it'd be advantageous to the board just to listen to Mr. Bronson for a couple minutes, explain why he's here tonight or why he filed the original application for that accessory dwelling unit, which is proposed to be a detached structure, 1 bedroom, 900 square feet on the same premises as his home. So if I could ask Mr. Bronson to maybe lay that out for the board, and then I'll just finish with a quick overview on the property, if you don't mind.
Sure.
He needs to be sworn.
Okay, sure.
And we don't have a stenographer here. Is there some reason we don't have a stenographer here?
The stenographer was notified to be here this evening, so I'm a little surprised that she's not here.
Good thing we have a tape, just in case.
Sorry.
We have a tape. It's being, it's,
Oh, yeah,
we have
the
a.
meeting's being recorded.
Yes, right, yeah.
As a notary, can you swear him?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
happy
the
to.
chairman, you
I'm
can.
happy to. Okay. You can come up, sir. Yeah. Come on. First for everything, right? Mr. Bronson, can you raise your right hand?
I can,
Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right.
I was in law
How's that
enforcement for
going?
18 years.
Oh, there
I'm
you
used to that. So my reasoning is actually really simple, twofold. Is one, my parents are aging, and I promised them I'd never put them in a convalescent home. Unfortunately, my grandfather, so my father's father, had a pretty awful experience at one in Connecticut. So that was the first reason, so I could take care of my parents. But the other reason is I've actually registered the land as a farm, small family farm. We're gonna do some Christmas trees, some black walnut. And my father is really pivotal to that because he has a lot of that knowledge, so he'll be helping me kind of establish the farm, work with DEM. It's like completely at its infancy. This is a long-term project. kind of a hobby more than a business. I don't expect it to be very profitable. I don't plan on clearing all the land. So that was really the two reasons there. There's one, he possesses a lot of knowledge. For instance, even when we were hiking the property, he could spot out all the wild blueberry bushes and all this stuff. So he's really perfect for that. And it's really more or less to take care of them. as
Can I
they age.
interrupt you, Mr.
Sure.
Johnson? You don't need to tell them why you want to do it because you're allowed to do it.
Oh.
You just have to explain to them why you can satisfy the requirements in the zoning ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I do appreciate the backstory.
No,
Yeah,
that
they
was
like-
just
they
the
like to-
backstory.
They like to hear the details, but you don't have to do that.
So I actually had an attorney working on the project and maybe better.
Josh knows how to do this. He's
I know
been here
Josh will
before.
probably be better.
I can do it, or you can follow along with me.
No, I'll let you take the lead. I'm smart enough to know you can do it.
I'm in 183604.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll get to that in just one second. I just want to finish with the overview. So the properties here in both the blow-up version and the perimeter plan it shows the entire area of the land that Mr. Bronson owns in yellow. This in this location here, also here is the,
Do you want to be sworn just in case they have to ask you questions?
Sure.
Why don't you swear Josh in? Swear
Oh,
him.
now, speaking of the thing, all right, sure, you're right.
sure,
You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, thank you.
So the area, this location is the house that's under construction now. So just to the south of that, highlighted in orange, is the one bedroom accessory dwelling unit proposed. That septic system on the property was designed for a full 5 bedrooms, approved by DEM. That would accommodate both the 4-bedroom residence as well as the accessory dwelling unit tied into the same on-site wastewater treatment system. Driveway access is the same for both structures. You know, the frontage is on Punch Bowl Trail. In one section, the larger frontage, there's a large pond. There's no access through there. There's a 50-foot wide access point right next to the neighboring property at 3 Punch Bowl Trail. So that driveway will be shared by both the accessory dwelling unit and the primary house. So as far as the zoning ordinance, section 183604, just gonna go through the 6 points and then just explain why this property and why the proposal is adequate and meets those particular requirements. So the first one is that the accessory dwelling unit shall be attached to the principal dwelling unit or shall be located in an accessory building on the same lot. If the accessory dwelling unit is located in a different structure from the principal dwelling unit, the accessory dwelling unit shall not have accessory dwelling units of its own. In this case, this is a detached accessory dwelling unit, and the accessory dwelling unit will not have accessory dwelling units of its own. There was a floor plan submitted, I believe, with the application, correct, gentlemen? That shows the layout for that unit. And you will see the 1-bedroom nature of that with no further expansion projected. The second item is the lot on which the accessory dwelling unit is located shall comply with the lot area, lot width, and lot frontage requirements for the principal dwelling. The accessory dwelling unit shall comply with the front yard, side yard, and lot area coverage requirements for the zoning district, which it does. In this case, we had, again, created this lot through a subdivision process. But recently, at that point, it met the minimum 200 foot of frontage. And in this case, as the prepared site plan shows, the actual dwelling unit sufficiently and adequately meets the side yard setback, which is a minimum of 35 feet. The dwelling unit's over 180 feet from that side yard.
What you need to look at is the dimensional regulations for the accessory dwelling unit, the separate building.
Okay,
And that those would be the accessory building setbacks, correct, Bo?
That's good, yeah, that's what they'll have to meet.
Yeah. So you don't have to meet the same ones as you would have to meet for the house?
correct.
Yeah, just for an accessory.
I believe that's
15 or 10?
10 on the side, 15 on the rear.
Yeah, 10 and 15.
10 and 15, perfect.
Can you just tell the board how far away the accessory dwelling unit building is from the side, front and rear yards?
I can do that, sure. I need a little help on my side. So we've illustrated on the site plan that the minimum dimension from the proposed accessory to a side yard is 131.7 feet. At its closest dimension, that's a side yard setback. So if the side yard is 10, we obviously exceed that. I'm just gonna go to my plan if you don't mind.
That's why I asked. It was really hard to read because we've got reduced copies.
Yeah. So the minimum rear yard we're providing is to the direct north. That's a distance of 340 feet. And then the front is technically all the way down at Punch Bowl Trail. That's a bit tricky. It's over 240 feet to the front property line, the nearest corner.
So for number 3, do you have an elevation of the accessory dwelling unit? There was an elevation of the principal building submitted, but not the accessory building. Have one that would satisfy that third paragraph.
Sure. Just the one.
Not the floor plan, but the elevation. Yeah, that's exactly what they need
Can
to see.
I submit this for the record? Sure. Okay.
Yep, that's what you want. You can give it to Sean and he can mark it as an exhibit.
This is the elevation of the accessory.
And after you unmark it, you can pass it around so everybody can look at it because they're only one copy. The ordinance requires that the accessory dwelling unit shall be designed and constructed in a manner that maintains the appearance of the property as a single household dwelling. So the property can't look as if it has 2 single-family houses on it. And for 4, you've already submitted the floor plan of the accessory building. It has
Yes.
all those things.
So our floor plan does indicate that it has a kitchen, sanitary facilities, and a separate entrance from the principal dwelling as it's a detached structure. So that entrance is obviously separate. And again, the floor plan shows the kitchen, sanitary facilities, and we talked about where they're connecting to. Item 5, an existing accessory dwelling unit should not be located in or on the same lot as a duplex or multi-household structure, a mobile home, a mobile park, a hotel or motel, or a rooming house or boarding house. As the site plan shows and as the current building permit reflects, there's only an existing single-family 4-bedroom dwelling permitted under construction on the property, other than what's proposed here tonight for the accessory dwelling. Item 6, the accessory dwelling unit shall contain no more than 50% of the floor area of the principal dwelling, not including basements, attics, garages, and unenclosed porches, or a maximum of 1,000 square feet, whichever is smaller, as presented on the floor plans and on the site plan, and as well as the application for the special use permit. The accessory unit is a 900 square foot footprint, a 990 square foot footprint, excuse me. And the final specs on the existing house, 3,400 square feet, which is reflected in the building plans of the main house and the building permit that was received for construction. So we're less than 1,000 threshold square footage for this accessory, and certainly less than the 50%.
Mr. Chair, Samantha had her hand raised just a moment ago. She on the call. with
Sam
us.
Patton,
Yes.
all right,
Hi, Nick. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so the exhibit that was entered earlier, just for the record, what is it being labeled as?
Elevation of accessory dwelling unit.
Okay, so exhibit A or exhibit one
So I made
or,
a notation of 1 in parentheses.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
I'm just gonna mark it in pen for you, Sam.
Okay, thank you.
Not to interrupt, but does she need me to email that to her? Because I can.
No,
That'll be, this is the original on the record. So we use that.
Okay, so in summary, obviously, we reviewed the site plan tonight, explained the nature of the application, and also we've explained how it's in compliance with those 6 items within section 1836-040 of the zoning ordinance.
and
So,
it's gonna be in the same ownership.
and item B, in the same ownership as the principal structure, that's correct. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer those, or if there's a direct question for Mr. Bronson, you can have him answer as well.
All right, any questions? I don't have any right now. I'm just trying to pull up the ordinance on my phone. I'm just having trouble. You don't have an extra copy, do you?
Thanks, Josh.
The ordinance for the accessory use. This is the cheat sheet I brought with me.
Is there something wrong with it? I did it.
No, I had this one on. All right, I just want to make sure that we cover everything.
All right.
I don't have any questions. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. All right, no questions. I think that's the end of their presentation. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
You have to ask if there's anyone present in the audience who would like to speak in
Is there
favor
anybody-
or against.
Present in the audience or virtually, if so, you can raise your hand virtually. Has any questions, comments with respect to this application? See no hands here.
No members of the public on the platform tonight. Mr.
It's a
Chair.
really exciting meeting tonight. Everybody in town is interested.
I think the applicant will probably enjoy a boring meeting.
Yes.
I got nervous when I saw all the people.
All right, with that being said, I'll make the motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Discussion. This is very straightforward to me. It looks like we put a ton of legwork into this project. So I went through the appropriate check boxes, if you will, and they check all the boxes, which is great and frankly makes our job easy. And thoughts or anything like that?
Well, it's good. It seems straightforward. There's a lot of butters and that's why I thought maybe it'd be interesting, but there's no one here to question anything, so pretty straightforward to me.
So you need a motion to approve that has findings of fact and conclusions of law.
All right. So with that, as I was scrambling for the ordinance while the presentation was being made, and during our discussion, I just want to make sure that my motion will be covering everything. So accessory dwelling unit, this isn't the motion. I just want to make sure that I'm able to make a motion. Let's see. If the accessory dwelling unit is located in a different structure from the principal dwelling unit, the accessory dwelling unit shall not have an accessory dwelling unit of its own, and that seems to be met here. It's on a lot in which the accessory dwelling unit, excuse me, the lot on which the accessory dwelling unit is located shall comply with the lot area, lot width, and lot frontage requirements. Testimony reflects that there were no issues, variance or anything like that was needed here. The accessory dwelling unit shall be designed and constructed in a manner that maintains the appearance of satisfied based on the exhibit in the record. The the kitchen sanitary facilities, that won't be an issue. Accessory dwelling unit shall not be located in or on the same lot as a duplex, that's not an issue. Contain more than 50% of the floor area of the principal dwelling. Doesn't. Has to be separate, it can't be in separate ownership, we are testimony to that effect. All right, so we'll close the discussion and I will make a motion to approve the application before us based on the testimony that we heard from both gentlemen this evening, one of which was the applicant. The accessory dwelling unit, let's see here, I'm going through 1836040.
You wanna go through 1852-060, I think.
You want me to cover?
Yeah, that's what you need for the decision, you need that special use permit criteria.
So for the decision, it's 060, and I
Yeah.
don't need to cover
You have to
36.
say that, get the application, will not, the proposed use will not substantially or permanently harm the appropriate use of
You
surrounding
don't want me to go
property
through 36.
because, and then state why it won't.
Okay, you don't want me to go through 36040.
You're gonna get to that when, there's a part here about compliance with the ordinance.
All right.
And that's where that goes in.
All right, so consistent with 1852060 entitled special use permit, the proposed use will not substantially or permanently harm the appropriate use of surrounding property. Base that motion in particular on the fact that this is it's a considerable distance away from the neighbors surrounding this proposal. It looks like this, especially with respect to exhibit 1, is exceptional.
And the area of the lot is more than sufficient to satisfy the requirement of the zoning ordinance.
Okay.
Right,
Yes,
is that what you just said? Didn't I hear you just say that?
that's exactly what I said, and I'll incorporate the solicitor's recommendation in my motion. And to that point, neither the proposed use nor its location will result in conditions that will harm the public health, safety, and welfare. There's nothing that I heard, no suggestion whatsoever in the record that there'll be any harm whatsoever. Further, and to that point, the proposed use will be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of this title. Based on what before us, it seems entirely consistent with the neighborhood that it's in, entirely consistent with our zoning ordinance in Richmond. Turning to 1836040, let's see. The accessory dwelling unit shall be attached to the principal dwelling unit or shall be located in an accessory building on the same lot. If the accessory dwelling unit is located in a different structure from the principal dwelling unit, the accessory dwelling unit shall not have accessory dwelling unit of its own. This is a different structure from the principal dwelling, and it does not have its own accessory dwelling unit, so that is satisfied. The lot on which the accessory dwelling unit is located shall comply with the lot area, width and frontage requirements for the principal dwelling. The accessory dwelling unit shall comply with front yard, side yard, rear yard, and lot area coverage requirements for the zoning district. We have testimony on the record satisfying all of that. All of the lot size requirements and setbacks have been met appropriately. The accessory dwelling unit shall be designed and constructed in a manner that maintains the appearance of the property as a single household dwelling. We took into evidence exhibit 1, which makes that clear. There's a color photo of depiction of what this accessory dwelling unit will be constructed as, and it seems to be consistent with that.
Would you like to add with respect to number 2, that the proposed use will not result in conditions that will harm the public health, safety, and welfare, because as the engineer testified, the septic system will be designed to serve both the principal dwelling and the accessory dwelling.
Yes, that's helpful. Thank you, Karen. There was testimony that the septic system was adequate. I believe the number was 5. That's more than adequate. 5 bathrooms for this particular use. Going back to 1836040, the accessory dwelling unit shall have a kitchen, sanitary facilities, and entrance separate from those of the principal dwelling. We received in the application, floor layouts which make that clear, so that has been met. The accessory dwelling unit shall not be located in or on the same lot as a duplex or multi-house structure, or mobile home park, hotel, motel, or rooming house or boarding house. That is filled. That is obviously not the case here. The accessory dwelling unit shall contain no more than 50% of the floor area of the principal dwelling, not including basements, attics, garages, etc. Based on the application with the specific floor plans, that is clear that it does not contain more than 50% of the floor area of the principal dwelling. And the accessory dwelling unit must be in the same ownership. We heard testimony that that will be the case, that this applicant will own the principal dwelling as well as the accessory structure. And I think that covers it, unless I'm missing anything, Madam Solicitor.
I
Very
think
good.
you got everything.
All right. Is there a second for that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you have it, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated. Thank you.
My parents will be happy for this phone call.
Good luck. That's why I like to hear the backstory. Good luck.
No, thanks, appreciate it.
Sure. All right, that brings us to our adjournment. Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have no idea how easy you have it. When I was this